Hello and welcome to another episode of Boundary. Now let us discuss a different topic, the evolution of philosophy of science, the development of the scientific method. Different philosophers have different approaches to reasoning. For instance, Descartes uses the rules of deduction to deduce the truth from I exist. His understanding of the foundational knowledge. A simple form of deduction is like all English shorthairs were cats, or cats are mammals, thus all English shorthairs are mammals. One can guarantee its validity. Bacon, however, supports inductivism, which follows a similar process that of this. Suppose that all species of cats observed so far eat fish, so all cats eat fish. This reasoning thus is inductively valid and likely to be true. Bacon believes through the recording of underrated experiences, organized and tabulated, more general axioms are abstracted. From these axioms, one eventually ascends to the most general laws of nature. Well, actually, this seems really questionable, that unguided collections of facts can leads to anywhere interesting. Even if we can organize the facts somehow into general laws, this will not give us all we seek in science. So Mill introduced his footing for his inductive inference. His argument identifies four methods, highlighted by the method of agreement and the method of difference. The method of agreement identifies a common factor by analyzing instances in which a certain event occurs. It first identifies different scenarios where a specific effect occurs, and the second look for the only factor that is common to all those instances. The method of difference determines causality by contrasting instances where the effect occurs with those where it does not. First, one needs to identify two situations. One, the effect is present, the other, the effect is absent, to look for an element that is present in the first but absent in the later scenario. There are problems to these methods. First, it is really hard to achieve in the real, actual scientific investigations. The phenomenon under investigation may be relatively rare and beyond our ability to affect. Hypotheses are needed at the beginning of inquiry to give the meaning and structure to the facts. Without this, thoughts are too complex and separated. It is hard to find the relationships. Even if the relationships are found, you only arrive at correlations, not causal relations. Hume began by pointing out that inductive inferences are certainly not deductively valid. He uses the skeptical argument of the principle of uniformity of nature to support this. First, A matter of fact claim about the future is justified only if it is supported by induction. 2. An inductive argument justifies its conclusion if we are independently justified in acceptable UN, which is the uniformity law of nature. 3. The uniformity law of nature is a matter of fact claim about the future. 4. The uniformity law of nature is justified only if it is supported by induction. 5. Uniformity of the law of nature is the premise of induction. 6. Justifying uniformity law of nature is circular. 7. Circular is not justified, does not count as justified. Popper presents his own model. He believes that induction being invalid and only deduction is valid reasoning. So Popper's point was that you cannot deductively verify a theory by making correct predictions, but you can deductively falsify a theory by making incorrect predictions. In this way, Popper's deductivism was his falsificationism. This falsification theory is highly impossible in the realm of real scientific inquiry. This leads to the invention of Karl Hamper's hypothetical deductive model of confirmation. It first begins with a hypothesis. Based on the hypothesis, you deduce certain specific predictions or consequences. This involves deriving outcomes that would be observable. If the hypothesis is true, then through experiment or observations, we could see if the predictions are confirmed or not. If predictions were confirmed, then the hypothesis gains support. Otherwise, the hypothesis may be falsified.